The word of good news this morning, I did get word that my nephew is now confirmed out of Afghanistan and off the front line. Last day of active duty, they got a shouted warning over the radio incoming, and he got his troops in the dugout, and he was the last one in, and shrapnel landed all around him, but he was unscathed. So he made it out, and we're very, very grateful. So, happy 4th of July. It is a happy 4th of July. Freedom. Free. And of course, the Bible verse everybody turns to, where Jesus actually talks about freedom, is in John chapter 8. And he said to him, "Who are you?" Jesus said to them, "Why do I speak to you at all? I have much to say about you and much to condemn, but the one who sent me is true, and I declare to the world that I have heard from him." They did not understand that he was speaking to them about the Father. So Jesus said, "When you have lifted up the Son of Man, then you will realize that I am he, and that I do nothing on my own, but I speak these things as the Father instructed me. And the one who sent me is with me. He has not left me alone, for I always do what is pleasing to him." Then Jesus said to the Jews who believed in him, "If you continue in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free." They answered him, "We are descendants of Abraham and have never been slaves to anyone. What do you mean by saying you will be made free?" Jesus answered them, "The slave does not have a permanent place in the household. The Son has a place there forever. If the Son makes you free, you will be free indeed." What is Jesus saying to us, do you suppose? Who is the Son of God? The Almighty. Who is a direct incarnation of the Father, who breathed the breath of life into your nostrils. God did. What is your ultimate source? The one who sent you. How do you know these things? How can you be assured of this? How do you know what this means? Begin to accept this, then you're open to instruction. And that very same power that breathes you into existence will explain to you everything you need to know about you and everybody else. See, you were sent. You're on purpose. It's not an accident. You're not a chemical improbability floating in the immensity of space for a brief moment and then you're gone. You're intended and on purpose. The living expression, the very breath of God. Not a new idea. Woven throughout Scripture, and not just Judeo-Christian Scripture, all of the world's Scriptures. And in that truth is freedom. And only in that truth is freedom. Until it becomes real for us But this power, this love that sent us is love. It's not out to get us. It doesn't seek to hurt us. It takes no joy in our suffering until we get it, that we're intended and on purpose. Until we know that in that love in which we live and breathe and move and have our being, we're never completely free. In anger and resentment and pain and fear and addictions and reaction and acting out and all of its many guises are our constant companions. How do we get this assurance? How do we find this truth? How do we come by it? It's not an intellectual understanding. Your mind will never find it. The finite mind can never comprehend the infinite. It's not something that can be taught. There's no master or guru on this planet that can instruct you, to give this special knowledge to you. It's not like learning the multiplication tables or learning the internal workings of the internal combustion engine. It's an experience. It's a knowing, but it's not knowledge. It's just different. It's a knowingness that, like knowing your name, it somehow requires no intellectual processing at all. You just know. And you know that you know. And it's not something you care to debate. It's just part of who you are. Now this doesn't mean we leave our brains at the door. Not at all. It's not anti-intellectual. In fact, it sort of cleanses the lenses of perception, and you really start seeing things in a new way. And things that didn't make sense before make sense. And things that just used to befuddle you become clear, and all of a sudden courses of action just come. And if you need information, if you need knowledge, it just shows up when you need it. And things just sort of fall into place. It's an experience. But it's not being carried away by emotion. It's not maudlin. And it's not always unbridled exuberance. It's just a soft, gentle experience. It's being cuddled in something that's big and huge and immense and beyond our ability to find its edges. Something in which we completely are just free floating, like just being in the middle of space, and yet we feel so warmly snuggled, so gently held. I only know of one way to get this, to find it, to experience it. And that's number one, to make time for it. Number two, to ask for it. And number three, to expect it. Those who follow my words are my disciples. Do it the way Jesus did. Regularly, routinely, all the time. Spend time apart. It is those moments of silence and reflection, whether you're sitting or at lunch,